Welcome back to the Mad Moody's. This time, you got the both of us in one video. So this ought to be fun.
Yeah.
Alright. Some of the things I wanted to do was to tell funny stories concerning my disability. And I was kind of thinking about my family. We are called the Mad Moody's for a reason because we're all crazy. And we have a lot of stories that they, most of the time, involve me and nobody thinking. So we got about 10 stories. Shouldn't be too long. But I'll start with, should I start with some of the ones you've said first? I think so.
Go for it.
For the ones that don't know, part of my disability, I have, with my spina bifida, I don't have much feeling in my feet. Especially on the bottom of my feet, I pretty much have absolutely none. So my wife, who has known me for, 8 years? We've been
Some
married
of those
almost
before
7.
we were married, honey.
Yeah. But we've been married almost 7 years. And been together almost 8 years. So she's got some funny ones that we could tell on her. You want to tell them or you want me to?
You tell them and I'll correct you.
Sounds about right. Sounds about right.
You leave out details.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Alright. This woman that I love with all my heart, I walked up to her one time and I told her a joke.
No, we were sitting in the bleachers
Okay.
at the assembly.
I'll let her tell it then.
No, you tell it. I just had to correct you because it was the wrong place. So know which one you're talking about.
We were cutting up and I told her a joke. And she looked at me. Her husband, who is disabled, said that was so lame. She called me lame.
Well, if the shoe fits.
Speaking of shoes, what are some of these others? I know I got at least one more.
Are those shoes comfortable?
Is that the one I had on here? I done forgot.
You got one of them down there.
Yeah. Now, I have braces and I cannot feel the bottom of my feet. But she always asks if my shoes are comfortable. I don't know. I can't tell you if they're comfortable.
In my defense,
Been
good shoes affect your back.
Well, my back's
your
already
legs.
messed up, so.
Well, it can make your back go better if you have better shoes.
Okay.
Which is the reason why I bought you those shoes that you...
Then I'm
After a
wearing
while
right
didn't
now.
wear. You wore them? Sorry?
Yes, I've got them on right now.
Oh, you hadn't worn those in a while.
If anybody watches this that has braces and they're looking for shoes to fit over the braces, go to, what are they called? Billy shoes?
Were they Billy shoes?
Billy
I think they were
shoes.
Billy shoes.
Billy shoes. They work
They
also.
fit over the AFOs pretty good.
Yeah. You can they unzip and zip back. I love them to death.
Let's check off that one.
Alright, what was the other one I just did and didn't check off? That was lame.
That was lame.
Alright. Now, I've got a cousin whose wife has a disability. We were up at one of my other cousin's houses, and we had a packed house. Everybody, my whole family was there, and I've got a big family. Well, I'm standing up, and I'm standing next to my cousin, my cousin's wife who's disabled. And it hits me that we were the only two that did not have a seat in the whole house. My whole family was sitting down, didn't even offer me and her a seat. I looked at her, and when I told her, we had to inform everybody that they were making the two crippled people stand up.
Disabled.
Disabled. Okay. She's got to correct me. She is my wife.
No, it's just some people are touchy about what to call who.
All right.
He calls himself what he wants to.
And this same cousin has a son who did not know that I could walk a little bit without my crutches. I can't walk long distances, but like around the house, I do good. Well, we was picking on each other one day, and I sat down and I set my crutches next to me, and he grabs them, and he takes off, and he stands at the other end of the den, and hollers, "You can't get me now." Well, I stand up and proceed to walk across the den. It surprised him so bad that he dropped my crutches and ran down the hall hollering, "He can walk! He can walk!" And what he didn't know is that I'm like, yeah, I can walk, and if I can get a hold of you, I'm gonna whoop you, boy. Of course, I never did get a hold of him. But yeah, that's probably one of my favorites. Alright, now for my parents and my siblings. I'll go with Chasten first. Evidently, Chasten, which is my brother, thinks that people will only recognize me because of my crutches. And here's why I say that. We'd went to get something to eat, and we were in a drive-thru. And I see a guy that I went to school with. And I was going to say hey to him, and my brother, who I love dearly, speaks up and said, "Show him your crutches." So that way he would remember me. He would only remember me because of my crutches.
I had to pull my hair back. Hair break.
Okay.
Sorry. Go on.
So he thought that guy would only remember me because of my crutches. Really.
Wow.
Yeah. Alright. Then we were at sorry I keep looking down on my phone so I don't miss any of these stories. My same brother, we were at a Christmas parade. And the Shriners were there, which I went to the Shriners Hospital for years. I might do a video on that one day. But I was there for like 17 years. That was my hospital. Well, we were at the Christmas parade and the Shriners were coming through and they had signs that said, "We ride so crippled kids can walk." And Chasten spoke up and said, "That's horrible." Said they ought to let the crippled kids walk. Ride. Which I thought was hilarious. Which is kind of true when you think about it. Why wouldn't they letting these kids ride?
Oh, forgot the foot itching. That story I told on myself.
Oh yeah, can you tell that while I'm doing this?
Alright. You did the kids ride?
Yeah.
Well, this was before we were married. We were long distance. He was in Georgia. Well, I was in Georgia now. We're in Texas. I was in Texas. I can't talk today. Well, stop. This is why you do the videos. This is why you... Stop. You're in trouble. This is why you do the videos. He does the videos. I can't.
She does good.
Well, I actually lost my train of thought for a second. Stop.
Okay.
I actually lost my train of thought. Well, I was, one time I was driving, had him on speaker. I wasn't really on my phone while I was driving. He just called me. Had my hands on the steering wheel. Stop. Yes, I did. And, stop it. You weren't there.
Actually, I was.
Stop.
I was in North Carolina.
You were no, you were,
Okay.
You were in Georgia, I was in Texas.
Okay.
Okay, so, stop interrupting me.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I was driving, and my foot starts itching. You know, when the bottom of your foot itches while you're driving, you can't scratch it. I told Nathaniel, I said, honey, do you know what it's like when you're driving your car and the bottom of your foot itches? And I realized what I said as soon as I said it, because he goes,
No, I have no clue.
I said, oh yeah, you don't. And the many times I've stepped on his foot.
Many times.
Not that many. How many times have I tripped over your crutches?
That's because you don't
How many times has your sweet little niece tripped over your crutches and gave boo-boo on the head?
That's because y'all don't watch where you're going.
Yeah, she's 3.
You ran over my foot with a wheelchair.
You didn't feel it.
It was the top of my foot. I felt it.
It
was a motorized wheelchair too.
No, sometimes, not as much as last year because he's with his medical, with the wound, he's not as independent as he usually is. Usually has a lot more independence. We're working on gaining back his independence, but I'm going off again. Well, I've stepped on his foot and go, is your foot okay? I'm so sorry, honey.
Yeah, I didn't know
He
it.
said, I can't feel it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. A lot of times I'll realize what I said right after I say it.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right. Sticking with Chasten. We were out shopping. He had to go to the store for something, so I go with him. Well, we stopped in this little shopping center, and we go to the store he needed. Well, the second store he needed was in the same shopping center, but it was on the other end of it. So I go to get in the car after we leave the first store, because I didn't feel like walking all the way across. And Chasten said, hey, why are you getting in the car? Why don't you just walk with me? So I was like, okay. I couldn't drive the car, so I kind of had to do what he did. As we're walking, I made the comment, I can't believe you making a crippled man walk. He looked at me and never missed a beat. He said, well, Jesus did.
You tell him, well, you ain't Jesus.
That's true. All right. Got that one.
Right here.
Okay.
Boom. Wait a minute.
All right.
Take a minute.
And have you ever bought a gift for somebody and it just not connect with you, that they probably can't use the gift? She knows where this is going.
I've heard this one.
And what's bad is I asked for the gift and my parents bought it for me. So it was stupid on both of our parts. Okay, did I just call my parents stupid? They're
Yes,
not.
you did.
They're not stupid.
Your mother will watch this later.
I know. They're not stupid. I was stupid for asking for it. All right.
They just didn't think.
I walk with crutches.
Metal crutches.
Yes. So one year, I asked for a metal detector. We take it out. It was me and my dad. We take it out. We're going in circles because it's going off every time I move. And it takes me a while to realize it's going off because of my crutches. So I had to get Dad to carry it, and I had to stand behind him. And it was still going off. Needless to say, I didn't use that metal detector too much. Never really found too much either. Alright. And now for my two favorite stories.
The metal detector wasn't.
Oh, I love that one.
That was funny.
This is on my mother.
Mm-hmm.
And I love my mother with all my heart. But boy, she sure can make you laugh. She has always taught, her and my dad both have always taught me to be very independent. Of course, like Mikessa said, with my health issues this past year, it's been a little more difficult. But one day, this was before me and you met. One day I was sitting at the house and Mom was fixing herself a sandwich. And I was cutting up with her because I know how she wants me to be independent. And I told her, I said, hey Mom, will you fix me a sandwich? And she looks and not even thinking, she said, what's wrong with your two legs? My brother pipes up and said, really Mom? He was just born that way. It didn't register with me or her either one how funny that was till he said that. So yeah, if Mom wants to know what's wrong with my two legs, I have spina bifida. And then, I might get in trouble for this story, but I tell anybody I can.
You told me 4 times, 5 times?
Probably within the last year.
Yeah.
We were going out to eat, and it had rained that day. So as we're going out to eat, or as we're going back to the car, I fall. Which for me is no big deal normally. I'm on crutches, I fall often. And I'll tell some pretty funny stories on this one too. But it wasn't anything big. Normally. Well, I fall, and I lay there. I don't get up. And normally I get up by myself. My mother looks at me and says, Nathaniel, get up. And I tell her, I said, Mom, I can't. I said, something's wrong. So this goes on back and forth for a couple of minutes. She's like, Nathaniel, get up. I was like, Mom, I can't. Now, Mom had just been at the ER all day with my uncle, my great uncle. So she didn't want to go back to the ER. Well, needless to say, we went to the ER because I had broke my hip when I fell. Not only did it snap, but it did this. I was in there for at least a week before they could do my surgery because they had to line the bone up. But Mom is the whole time before then, Mom's like, Nathaniel, get up and walk it off, Mom. I can't. And finally, after the surgery and everything, I told her, I said, I knew something was wrong when I could look over and see the bottom of my shoe. I knew something snapped. But even to this day, if somebody falls, me and Mom or whoever's around will look and say, walk it off. So if you ever see her trip or something, you hear me say walk it off, that's where it comes from.
What about that story about your foot caught in the car door?
That was right. That was with Chaston, wasn't it?
I think you told me that.
All right, I have 2 more stories. I thought I'd be done.
2 more? That made you thought of another one?
Yeah, well, it's one I thought of earlier. With me not being able to feel my feet, I get myself in some bad predicaments. Me and Chaston went to the store one day, and I get done, so I go ahead and get in the car, and I shut the door. Now, I can feel pressure. Like, if something's on it, it does not hurt, but I can tell something's on it. So I'm sitting there, and I start feeling pressure, and I'm like, something don't feel right. I look down. My foot is in the door, and the door has latched shut. Thank the Lord, nothing was broke. But, alright, for the last story, and this will be it. It's the remote control story.
Oh, yeah, you told me that one.
When I was a kid, I was probably in middle school. I got up and got ready for school. Well, while we wait on the other kids to get ready, I would watch TV in the room. Well, I start looking for my remote and I couldn't find it. I sat down on the bed and the channel turned. So I thought I sat on it. I get on the bed, off the bed, and I'm looking for it. Nowhere to be found. And it's driving me crazy because I can't find it. What?
Is that a story on your family or on you?
Mostly on me. But it involves Chaston and because we was at his ball game. So we get the I done lost my train of thought now.
The remote.
Alright. So we go to school and I still never did find the remote. Go all the way through school. Get home, still can't find the remote. We go to my brother's ball game. My shoe falls off. Guess what fell out of it? My remote. I'd walked around all day with that in my shoe and did not know it. Everybody still loves to tell that story. Alright, I think that's it.
Any other stories you can think of?
Not that I can think of.
Well, we've got lots more. Lots more.
Yep.
Yeah, there are no outtakes in this video. I don't feel like editing that much.
No.
For more stories.
I hope you enjoy the channel.
No, I wasn't done yet.
Oh, okay.
For more stories, and we're going to be doing more videos. We're trying to get out more. Might take you fishing with us.
To the zoo?
It's more interesting. Yeah, we're going to the
go.
zoo again. Are we going to the zoo again this year? The riverboat, maybe?
Well, I gotta go visit my in-laws.
Lord. For more videos, like and subscribe. Thanks
Don't
for
forget,
watching.
guys.